Hey guys, welcome back. This is PJ with the High Mountain Homestead, and I am really excited to talk about how to get the most out of your topsoil, even if it's not great topsoil to begin with, specifically for planter beds. I love planter beds. There's a lot of good reasons to go with planter beds. I'll cover some of that today. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Glad to have you at the High Mountain Homestead. We are all about better soil, better plants, and better animals. And today we are covering one of those a lot more than the other two, although as it is with every video, it's all pretty connected. So if any of that sounds up your alley, consider subscribing. But for right now, let's talk about how to get better soil in your planter boxes. Okay, so I love raised bed planter boxes for many reasons. One of them is economically they're great, and I'll cover that a little bit here. But two, they preserve the microbiome of the soil much better because we're not walking all over it. We don't have a lot of animals scurrying around it. It just provides a better microbiome. So in this video, we're talking specifically about how to get the best microbiome from that soil. So raised bed planter boxes are tops for topsoil. Not bad. Okay, I did mention the economics of raised bed planter beds. So these ones were actually, I think we got them built for like 35 bucks a piece, maybe $32 if you don't count the screws that we used. So yeah, they could be a little bit taller. They're just 8 inches tall, but they do have dirt to go into below that, so sky's the limit, or whatever the opposite of sky's the limit phrase is for these roots. I hesitate doing a full video on my build out for these because it is so simple. Basically, I get these 2x8s that I put, we just attach together in the corners. There's either 2x4 or a 4x4, just some scrap wood we have lying around. We get long self-drilling screws and we screw them together. In the middle, going across the width, or sorry, across the length. What am I trying to say? Right here, going this way, across all of them, there's a 2x4 that runs along the bottom to make sure it doesn't bow out, and that is screwed in on the sides as well. Really easy planter boxes. The question remains, how do you inject life into this? So our story with these planter boxes, we built them and we actually bought topsoil. We bought 15 cubic yards, I think, for like $220, and it was good topsoil for purposes other than what we're using it for. It did not have much life into it. You could hold it and you could see, okay, this is good soft soil, but it doesn't have a lot of microbiome to it. So it was up to us to provide that initial microbiome into this. So I'm going to cover 3 specific ways that we've done that here, all of it low to no cost on all of these, that have really helped with our spring harvest, and summer's kind of just starting right now. Number 1 is soot from your fireplace. So we do have a wood burning stove. We're not using it much right now because it's really hot, but throughout the winter we were composting with it, and we do have an outdoor fireplace as well that we gather soot from to sow into this soil as well as put on top. Now the biochar from your soot is best used if it is aged a little bit. So the best case scenario is going to be put it into a bag or put it into a cardboard box, leave it in your shed or your garage, and just leave it there for like 3 or 4 months. It's perfect. It ages, and it's really good because it doesn't carry any weeds. A lot of other fertilizers that are natural will carry weeds, which I'll get into, but soot does not, which is great. So in the late winter, early spring, take your soot and put it on top of your planter beds. What that does is the dark soot is going to capture more heat from what sunlight there is, and it's going to let you plant a little bit earlier too. And if you need another bonus about soot, is that it can act as a antifungal property for your raised bed planter beds too. It's pretty good. Okay, one other thing about letting your soot age, the reason why you want it to age is because it uses a lot of that carbon material that is naturally occurring in it. It starts turning it into nitrogen. If you know anything about nitrogen, you know how great it is for leafy plants, which it's like every plant. So you want that. All right, Soot, it's good, use it. Number 2, rabbit manure. Many of you probably know this, but rabbit manure is one of the best manures that you can put on your gardens. It does not need to be composted. It can go straight from your bunny to the grass. If you keep rabbits, I recommend saving it. If you know people that keep rabbits, see if you can buy some from them. I bet they'll sell it to you for super cheap, like $5 for a 50-pound bag of feed filled with rabbit poop. So you're not going to pay $5 for 50 pounds. It's just a bag that used to hold 50 pounds of something else. But rabbit manure is super helpful. Okay, so you can put rabbit manure, you can sow it into your soil or put it on top. If you are lazy like I am, one of the benefits of putting it on top is that every time you water it, it kind of acts as a compost tea where the water reacts with the manure and drips down into the soil, which is great. I mean, that's the best thing you could ever have. Okay, rabbit manure is so rich in nitrogen and phosphorus that it is really good for plants that need a boost. For us, and again, our really cheap topsoil, it was just what we needed to kind of breathe life into the soil. So we are definitely fans of rabbit manure here. Highly recommend it. If you can get your hands on rabbit manure or bunny poop, whatever you want to call it, get it. Put it on top of your plants. You're going to be happy, I promise. So if I could give one caution on rabbit manure, at least the kind that we got from our neighbor who has a friend that runs a rabbit breeding operation, and he just kind of dumps all of his rabbit manure on the ground and lets it accumulate, it brought a ton of weeds. So this box, I spent a long time on Saturday weeding. You can see I still missed some over here. That box, I'll walk over to it, and this box I haven't quite gotten to, and you'll see within this cage, I've just been too lazy. I haven't gotten them yet, but I really need to. It brought so many weeds. Luckily, they are very easy to pull out. They're big enough now. My wife is always telling me, just wait. Wait for the weeds to get bigger. They're easier to pull up. And she's right. She's pretty much always right about this stuff. But the reason why the soil is so dry is because it's mostly tomatoes in here and peppers, and I'm trying to not water them every day, rather do a deep watering a couple times a week. And for my third and last recommendation that is going to be free, we'll walk over to the squash patch over here. We've just got random squashes, watermelons, just all that summer and fall stuff. Grass. Just take some grass clippings and just put them on top. Yeah, it doesn't look great, but guess what? Who's going to be laughing when you've got endless squash, watermelons, cantaloupe, zucchini? You'll be laughing. You'll just be happily sitting there with a table full of gourds, and your neighbors are going to be like, oh, look how bad all that dead grass looks over there in the pumpkin patch. You're just going to be sitting there with your fork and your knife, your pumpkin pies, and your watermelons, and you're just going to be living it up at the end of summer. You can tell I've thought about this. The point is, just put grass out. Who cares? It doesn't look great, but who cares? This was really good for this spot because it gets a lot of sunshine. It basically, like this time of year, gets about 14 hours of direct sunlight. Right now it's about 7 o'clock right now, and it's starting to get some shade over on this side from my neighbor's car. Other than that, sun all darn day. So it can use that moisture. Cars. So the grass really helps with moisture retention. Some people say it keeps weeds down. I have not found that to be super true. You can see I've got no shortage of weeds coming up here. And this is after I've weeded. But grass clippings are cheap or free. Always free. I don't know people who sell them. So put them out. And if you don't have a spot to put them out, compost them in a traditional way. The one downside to grass clippings, when you put them out and they're green, it looks really good. It smells really good. But I think that sometimes I get little grass shooters that come up from that. So you'll deal with that. Whatever. Like, pick weeds. Pick pieces of grass out. It is a lot better than pesticides. Just do it. Make you and your family and the earth happier. Okay guys, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it in real life, I hope you like it on YouTube as well. Goes a long way for us at the High Mountain Homestead. We really appreciate it as we are getting off the ground over here. If you liked this video, we release videos like it at least once a week, so subscribe. We'd love to see you again. I've been a novice gardener for many years, but this is the first year doing it for realsies on a bigger scale, on a scale that actually matters and can offset food costs for us. And I found these three things to be really helpful to kind of bring immediate life into what looked like really subpar soil. So if you have any ideas, please drop them below in the comments. I would love to see them. I think the whole community would love to see them. What's worked, what hasn't. Because if you've got something good, let's all help each other out. Alright guys, that is everything. I will see you on the next video.